Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host Brett Murphy, and for today's video it is going to be another retro review. And I am going to be reviewing the fourth film in the Harry Potter franchise, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So yes, we are back at it today, continuing down our Harry Potter rewatch review series. And we have reached the fourth installment. And this one is all about the Triwizard tournament. And fun fact, this was the last Wizarding World film in general to not be directed by David Yates. This film was directed by Mike Newell, and then in Order of the Phoenix, David Yates took over, directed the rest of the Harry Potter films, and all three of the Fantastic Beasts movies. And obviously, just like the previous three, the movie was received very well, and definitely took in a fair share from the box office. Before I hop into the actual review itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my retro movie reviews. So be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so, without further ado, let's hop right into things. Okay, so the first positive I wanted to discuss is that this movie has a fantastic opening that really helps to set the tone. And I can't help but feel so bad every time for that poor old caretaker. The next point is that the Quidditch World Cup feels like a real-life event, a grand and soulful celebration where everyone comes together. It's just too bad we don't actually get to see any of the match itself. Which is then swiftly followed by the Death Eaters' attack on their camps, which is essentially the Wizarding World equivalent to a terrorist attack. And they managed to capture the panic and hysteria quite well. Mad-Eye Moody is easily one of the best characters in this entire universe. And probably the best character in this movie. And yes, I know that this isn't the real Mad-Eye Moody in this particular movie, but even when we do get the real Mad-Eye Moody, his character really doesn't change all that much. His first lesson at Hogwarts starts off kind of funny and whimsical, but then takes a sharp turn towards being far more educational and severely traumatizing. As I said in the intro, this would be the last time that we'd see a new director in the chair before David Yates essentially took over the entire franchise. Director Mike Newell does well at continuing down the path of more mature and darker movies that Alfonso Cuarón had marvelously set up in the previous film, The Prisoner of Azkaban. But Newell also managed to add in a lot of his own unique style in terms of cinematography, editing, so on and so forth. I have always found that the Sirius Black and the fire effect was super cool. It's just too bad that we don't really see it all that often. On a little side note that is definitely still a major positive, seeing Draco actually turned into the little weasel that he is by Mad-Eye Moody is oh so satisfying. I love that each task in the tournament is unique, exciting, and diverse in its own way. You have the danger and the thrill of the dragon chase. You have the fear of drowning and open waters with the Black Lake task, plus some really excellent creature design in that one too. And then it's all capped off by the claustrophobia and intensity of the maze. I've always found this one to be the movie where we get the most exterior shots of Hogwarts. Lots of truly excellent cinematography covering the outside of the castle itself and the surrounding grounds. The pensieve is a brilliant invention. Could you imagine being able to save and store your memories and revisit them? And it is used to great effect in this flashback sequence. It provides essential info in a very natural and creative way. I mean, we see who Igor Karkaroff really was before the events of this film. We find out that Snape used to be a Death Eater, then was turned to a spy. We find out the truth about Neville's parents, and learn all about Barty Crouch Jr. Another fun fact for you that is also a positive, this was the first Harry Potter film to not be composed by John Williams. Instead, Patrick Doyle took over for only this entry and did an outstanding job at replicating the groundwork that Williams had set out, but also managing to add in his own distinct sound. Voldemort's resurrection is gross and a bit disturbing, and the subsequent duel is truly harrowing. Harry is no doubt unmatched, but he holds his own and he gets to see his parents. Harry and Cedric's father's reaction to Cedric's death is so raw and authentic, and it really does tug on the heartstrings. Lastly, for the positives, is that the Mad-Eye Moody big reveal at the end is a true jaw-dropper, and Dumbledore's eulogy for Cedric felt very, very genuine. I do have just a few little negatives with this movie, however. The firstly being, why is Dumbledore so damn aggressive at certain points? This has always been an ongoing joke with this movie in particular, but every time I go back and rewatch it, I always forget just how aggressive he really is. Of course, that's not all the way through the movie, but there are definitely certain points where he just goes way over the top. It's both pretty hilarious and super unnecessary. The next negative is that I never understood why Ron gets so pissed about Harry's name coming out of the Goblet of Fire. I get that he may feel betrayed that Harry didn't tell him that he was doing this, but after them being such close friends for the last 3 years, Harry being who Harry is, and with everything that they'd been through together, you'd think that Ron would be a little smarter than that. And the last negative that I have for this movie is that I've always found that all of the other champions are pretty dull. I obviously didn't expect them to get as much attention as the stars, but they're all so boring. From Fleur Delacour, and yes, even Cedric. Cedric is by far the best of them because he does actually get a little bit of screen time, but even with that, he doesn't really do or say much to make him very interesting. So all in all, folks, this was another massive hit for this franchise. That is 4 in a row that they absolutely knocked out of the park. So with all that being said, I'm going to be giving Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire a 9 out of 10. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my review. While you're at it, feel free to let me know what you would give Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire out of 10 and what your favorite moment from this movie was. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.